Ayesha Rodriguez. She is the educator and author of the I AM book series. And she is going to be telling us a little bit about the journey to writing the I AM book series. Hi, Ayesha. How are you doing?
Hey, thank you so much. How are you?
Good, good.
So with my books, it was something that kind of just happened. I did not actually, start off with the intent to write a book. I was actually in finance for 12 years, corporate finance and lending for 12 years. And then I ended up leaving and getting my master's in education and, working in the school system and then having an issue with my daughter, where she went to school and she came home just devastated because of something that a little boy said to her. And, I wanted to just write little notes for her that would, just remind her of who she is, her self-worth, because I feel like so many times it's easy to get bogged down by the words that other people say to you that you forget your own value. And especially raising little children, you want them, especially Black children, you want
Right.
them to have that self-esteem. You have to build them up. And so I did not start off, with the intention of writing the book, but it just came out that way where I wrote those words for her and turned that into a book. And from writing I Am Positive Affirmations for Brown Girls, that led me to writing I Am Positive Affirmations for Brown Boys, and then the one for all children. So,
Okay.
yes.
So can you explain? A lot of people may, get a little confused because with identification, we go brown, black, yellow, white. Why did you decide to go with I am for brown as the?
Well, because it's funny, I had this conversation just the other day. When we are talking about children, what are the first things that we teach them? We teach them their colors, right? We teach them white, we teach them yellow, we teach them blue, we teach them brown. So for them to look at a crayon and say, hey, this crayon is brown, and then look at their skin and think that it's anything other than brown, it does not happen. It's typically when they get older and we start having conversations about race that the verbiage changes. But the reality is we are literally brown. And so when I am in school and I'm teaching kids, or when I was even talking to my children, you know, and I ask them, what color is your skin? They are going to say brown because we are brown. And so that is where it comes from. Yes, we may be part of the Black race, but it is literally, children are very literal.
Right.
And so
No,
yeah.
yeah, I remember being a child and having the Crayola box and
Yes.
saying, "That's not the color of my skin, the black. It's brown." So, but it's not that there's any kind of anything deeper than the literal aspect of a child saying, "This
Right.
is brown.
Right.
I am brown."
I am brown. It is literally that simple because the
Right.
books are for children. And so that is the way that they see themselves. And I am writing to them and for them. So I chose to write I am, positive affirmations for brown boys and girls.
Okay. Well, as we know, 2020 has been quite a year. And, it's important to enforce the positive affirmations for women. That's a whole
Yes.
thing
It's
in
a whole
it.
thing in itself.
Certainly, we have had the challenge of identity that face Black men and ultimately can start at childhood. And one of your books, as you mentioned, has is correlates to brown boys. But of all the books that you do, which one is the favorite that you've done? Which is your favorite,
So
and why?
for Brown, actually, when I was writing the I Am series, I've written 7 books. Um, I have 5 of them translated so far into Spanish. But of the 7 books that I've written, I have 2 favorites.
Mhm.
When I did the I Am series, the one that I wrote for Brown Boys was my absolute favorite. And I felt at that time I was writing for children, and that was before it became like self-publishing, I guess, became like the real big thing.
Right.
And so for me, I felt like there was really not much that was on the market for Black boys. You did not see it anywhere, And I mean, yes, granted, there was books, but really, I felt like the books speaking to our babies, our Black babies, were it was few and far between. And so for me, when I wrote that one, I was like, okay, this is my favorite. Granted, I started off writing for my
Right.
daughter, but this book right here, I was like, this to me was just it was just it. And so I just afterwards I had a friend of mine, her son read it, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, this looks like me!" And he was so happy, and it touched my heart. And I started getting that same feedback, and I was like, "Okay, I know that my thought process was right with this book, just to uplift them and speak to them." So that one was my absolute favorite from the I Am series. I do have a new one. Um, that I just finished, and it's called Beautiful Brown Skin Child, and that is for both boys and girls.
Okay.
And that currently is my new favorite. New favorite is currently my new
Right.
favorite. And I actually wrote that the day of the George Floyd
Oh,
riots,
wow.
and I was actually just like, it was a hard day. It was just a really,
Of
really
course.
tough day.
Yeah.
And and I was like, I just wrote that and I was just crying, and I was just, but I wrote it, and to me, I just spoke from the heart, and I made sure that when I was writing it, that I was speaking to current issues. I made sure that the illustrations were positive, but that they're also talking about Black lives. The one thing that I want anybody to know when you have my books is that my books are created for dialogue. There, you can also talk about the words, but you can talk about the illustrations as well. There's questions in the back. And I really want that even if you don't agree with everything that may be in the book, talk about it.
Right.
To me is the most important thing. And I feel like Beautiful Brown Skin Child is a book to be talked about between parent and child, or caregiver and child, teacher and child, whoever it may be.
Right.
I feel like it's a talking piece. And
Right.
so that is my new favorite book.
Okay.
Yes.
So, how have you found? Because you're a person who has lived in New York and in Florida, so you are in communities where you have Black and Brown communities, and there has been this growing identification in the Afro Latino community with connecting to Black roots and having pride. Have you had any conversations with people in the Latino
It
community?
yes, actually, maybe 2 days ago, there was a lady, and she is from Panama, and she wrote to me, and she was like, "Thank you so much," because she's Black like you and I. She's from Panama, speaks Spanish, and so she's like, she has a book that her son can look into, and that's their first language. So the son can read the book, and the son can say, "He's Black like I am. He speaks Spanish like I am." So I actually do get that quite often, and that's why I was so happy that I did the translation,
Right.
because it's they are us, like we are all we
Right.
are all one. And yes, we may speak different languages, but at the end of the day, like, we have the same struggles. And so having that book was really important. Translating these books are really important so that I can speak to us in English, and then
Right.
also in Spanish as well. It's really, really important
Okay.
now that there is such a huge shift, and now that people are starting to accept their roots.
So, could you give us a sample affirmation and tell us what
Sure.
it will be?
Absolutely. This one is from I Am Positive Affirmations for Brown Boys, and it states, "I look to history as one of my biggest teachers. I am proud of my brown complexion and my African features. I am handsome."
Fantastic. Oh,
Yes.
wonderful. Where can people find your books?
Well, you can go to AyeshaRodriguez.com, and all of my information is there. If you happen to just be on Amazon, you can always search for my name, and all of my books will pop up. You can find me at any major retailer online, Barnes& and Noble, Walmart, Target, the whole shebang. You will find me. Just a simple Google search, and you'll definitely find everything that you need. And then when you're on the website, if you are interested and would like to have a signed autograph copy, I also do those as well.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Yes,
Well, Aisha, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, and
absolutely.
we'll catch you next time with whatever next inspired book.
Thank you so much.
Okay.